Southern Oak Insurance. The Jacksonville Icemen are the new affiliate of the Minnesota Wild. The two teams have reached a multi-year agreement beginning in the 2026-27 season, as the Icemen being the Wild's ECHL affiliate. This week's PGA Tour event is the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson and Scotty Scheffler looks to defend his title for win number 2 this season. It's 88 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Tom McManus is back. Someone say he's the glue that holds us all together.
Yeah, not really.
Well,
but good to be back.
It's good to be back with all of us together.
The gang's back
Felt
together.
like so long.
The band is back together. Good to be here. How's everybody doing?
Good, thanks. We announced yesterday that you told us $1.4 million raised over the weekend and yesterday.
Yeah,
for the
final
Jays.
counts, I guess, are still coming in, but that's what Coach said at the end of the luncheon. So
That's
it's
awesome.
a record, and I tell you, man, we're a giving community. I was just saying that in the crosstalk. It's absolutely just incredible from the amount of not just like to buy a foursome, go to the gala, that's a cost, but to also give even further money for the auction items, for whatever. Reggie Rivers, who played running back for the Broncos way back when, I think he works for a company that does this. So he gets up there at the end and he just lays out different levels of cash. And whatever you can do, whether it's $100 all the way up to $25,000, just raise your thing. So, the higher one had just a few, and then lower, they raised like an extra $600, like $1,000 by doing it. It was just absolutely great. Yesterday, the golf was awesome. I had a great foursome. Remember last year I played with the ladies, so I played with the men this year. They're a riot, those fellas. They were giving each other grief. They've been friends a long time, golfing buddies for a long time.
I ran into the lady the one time. She was like, I played with Tommy last year.
At Coughlin, he said. Yeah, they were here for TPC, and they ran into you and Pops. He's great.
That was a foreshadowing, by the way. You playing golf with ladies.
Yeah.
And then just a few minutes
how about that?
later,
Right.
joining the show.
How about that? But it was great. The gala was great. A lot of Boston College guys, a lot of guys I hadn't seen in a long time. They were roommates with Jay, same class as Jay, that kind of thing. We were all teammates together. So it was fun watching them all get together and just telling stories. And we had a bunch of laughs. It's funny. We went for the team photo, at the party on Saturday night, and nobody's sitting next to Coach. And I just looked at him. I'm like, you guys are still afraid of Coach, are you? Come on, I'll sit down. I sat down next to him. But it was great. It's what he's done. I said this yesterday because I emceed the awards luncheon. I said 31 years. I remember Jay's funeral. They laid his Boston College 31 jersey on his casket. And it was like one of the saddest. Like, I had lost my grandmother when I was 17, but didn't suffer real loss. And for such a young kid that was such a good kid, like, watch him get sick and then almost make it and then not make it, and then watch his family and how sad it was. So sad. I mean, it was like one of the saddest days of my, looking back at my life. But what Coach has done from that moment, like, it's 1.4 million, and it all goes to the families, as you know. By the way, our guest from the Radiothon, Kim, was at the golf yesterday, came up and said hello, make sure to say hello to you guys. It was so great to see her, and it was an awesome event. I got a chance to hang out with Campanelli for a little bit. I said, how do you pronounce your name? He goes, don't worry about it, just call me Cam. I'm like, man, I like this guy. He is a fireball, fun. You could tell he is super energetic, super Italiano. I love it. It was great. Liam came, James came, Campanelli came, Anthony came. Pacelli, of course, was there. So it was great to see the new contingent all there. Chad Johnson was there. And then the old guys, they're just people that have been there forever.
How much money did Liam and James and Baselli all give during that portion?
Well, you know what? They did something. So during one of the auction items, they did something where you can go to practice and hang out with them, and they all gave their own little bit. So they did their bid, man.
Good.
They did. Doug Peterson was there. Good to see Doug.
I saw that.
I said, how's golf treating? He's like, That's all I do. I play golf. I'm like, okay, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal.
Did you ask him why he didn't correct Trevor's mechanics?
No, I should have. I should have. I didn't know if that was the place, but I should have. I should have. But yeah, it was cool. It was really good, man. Just to be, I've gone to every one. I've never missed one. And then, of course, since Christina and I have been married, we never miss. It's a special night.
Yeah.
And a really cool day. And of course, you get to play the players. You get to play TPC.
Not too bad.
It's pretty awesome. Great weather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, all in all, just a fantastic another reason why you love Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And look, it doesn't matter what charity we're talking about. It's always well represented.
Yeah.
There's always giving to different charities, and it just makes this place even more special.
I think one of the best things you can do is when you can spin tragedy into something positive and help people after that. And losing people is devastating, and we see all sorts of foundations and different reasons of why these people start them and how they get started. But being able to turn something that is so tragic and sad for a lot of people into something that changes people's lives in a positive way after that is just it's a really, really cool thing.
Absolutely, and they are doing just that. So, do you want to hear a funny story?
Of course.
Okay.
That's what we're here for.
I hope you can appreciate it. I laughed my butt off. I'm still laughing about it. So Tommy Nalen was there. He's a former Boston College center, played with the Broncos for, I don't know, like 13 or 15 years. Great player. Really, really good guy. Hadn't seen him since we played him in the playoffs, so since 1990,
Wow.
97. And I see him for the first time. He's lost all his weight. Looks great. Gave him a big hug, and he goes, I'm still pissed at you. I said, what? I said, what? What are you mad at? He goes, you and Pahopik, who was my linebacker mate and my roommate. He goes, you guys pinned me down once, and it was retaliation against something or something. We're beefing about something, and you two pinned me down, and you shoved the fire extinguisher hose in my mouth and turned it on. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, it was water. Thank goodness it wasn't the foam. He's like, and I don't even know how I got in this position. And I started thinking, I'm like, man, I don't totally remember that. Like, I kind of do. And anyway, I woke up the next morning. I was like, okay, I kind of remember. So this is what happened. This is what happened. So we used to, remember I told you, everybody in this one dorm was like apartments. So we had big closets. So we had a closet guy who didn't have enough money for room and board, but he could live there free.
Yeah.
And then he'd just have to do stuff, whatever it was. My guy had to make sure my parents always had a parking spot for home games right up front. So he'd get up at the crack of dawn and he'd stand in a parking spot to my parents.
Poor closet guy.
Yeah, well, that's all he had
got
to do.
free living.
Yeah, he got free living. We throw him some food from time to time.
Okay. There's scraps.
If he was out of, out of sorts or whatnot. So anyway, we would have these. And by the way, Jay's room, his closet guy was here at the J Fund this year. His first time coming. Yeah, Keith. So Keith and Andy. Andy's my guy. Keith is their guys. Well, Steven Marciano was there too. I told you, he was Rocky Marciano's nephew. Well, he'd come out in his, because he was always like short but jacked up. He'd have his Cape Fear, Robert De Niro Cape Fear hat on and no shirt on, and he's we're gonna have this boxing match, and the closet guys would wear just socks for gloves, and they would have to duke it out, and and something happened between the closet guys, which made me and Pahopes go after those guys, and we just happened to get Tom, and I don't even know how he grabbed. I don't even remember grabbing the extinguisher. I just he goes, I'm not mad at you anymore. But I was really mad. This is unbelievable. I just couldn't believe it. And then here's number two. This isn't funny. This is wild. John Jackson comes up to me. He's like, hey, Tom, do you remember me? I'm like, holy cow, John Jackson. We played, last time I saw him, we played in a high school all-star game together in Illinois.
Wow.
He's working for Fields. They brought him down here from Chicago, and he's living in Knockett. He came up to me out of the clear blue, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Seriously. Looked the same. I just remember we were on the same team.
It's just crazy that it's been that long since you've seen some of these people.
Unbelievable.
You'd think that you would have come across one another in the last 30 plus years.
I know. Isn't it wild?
That is wild.
He just got moved down here, I guess, recently. So he's new to the area, but yeah, it's really cool. Just great memories. I can't believe it because Pahopik was trouble. He sure was. That roommate of mine, he made me do a lot of bad. No, I'm kidding. We were good together, me and Popes. Yeah, so. If we ever had a problem, we just go take care of it and get a fire extinguisher and look out, I guess, from what Tommy Nalen recalled me to.
Well, so who from the Boston College group was the funniest?
Oh, gosh. Stephen Boyd is really fun.
Okay.
You know, in that, I think I shared that photo.
Mm-hmm.
So in that is Mike Mamula, who played for a long time with the Eagles. Stephen Boyd, who played a long time for Detroit. Tommy Nalen played a long time for the Broncos. Pete Mitchell played for the Giants here, of course, and the Jags for a while. Myself, just with the Jags, but a lot of guys just from that group that played a lot of years in the National Football League. But Boyd and I, Boyd and I played pool against Brandon Jacobs, the running back from the Giants. You should see how big this dude is. I mean, he looks like a defensive end. So me and Boyd, it's late at night. We're playing pool. We actually won the game. We're playing doubles.
Of course you did.
And we're looking at him. I'm standing next to Boydo, and I'm like, that's a big running back right there, Boydo. You know, I go, holy cow. He goes, yeah, man, I'd hate to have to hit that guy all game long. And I said, well, his head's not that big. Maybe go for his head. He's like, we're aiming for the head. Good luck. I mean, he looks like a locomotive still. Really nice guy. It was cool. It was fun. We had a good time.
Awesome.
But he walked in, you're like, you're a running back? Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
great.
he has those like trap muscles.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
He's
That
built.
was just
He's
like,
still.
that also scares you.
Yeah, he's so just like Bill Polian was like a lot of different NFL.
A lot of celebrities.
That's really fun.
It was great. You guys, we're going to get you in there. Because
Right.
you'd love it. They'd love you there. It's a fun mingling. They did it different this year, so there was no sit-down dinner.
Okay.
It was just all hors d'oeuvres and drinks, and then they brought us out onto the lawn for the presentation.
Love
Brian
it.
Sexton, Hick, they both did a phenomenal job. They do it every year. They MC the night, and just a fantastic night.
Great.
Well, hey, at the end of the day, like you said, Tom Coughlin, and over the past 31 years, everyone else who's helped along the way, it's obviously not just Tom and now Kelly and
Yep.
her staff. Look at all the hours of effort that have gone into something like this.
And the number before this weekend was like 39 million over the years they've
Oh my
given
goodness.
between here and New York and just combined
Yeah.
to the families. Isn't that awesome?
That is really awesome.
They're really awesome. So anyway,
I was about to say too, the rent is getting very expensive. Closet guys might have to come back. They might need.
hey,
some
listen,
people
it
out there
wasn't a small closet. I'm telling you, you can put some shelves in there.
I
Had a
don't know
little
if I've
room.
heard this story about the closet people.
Oh yeah, Andy Mulligan, he was great, man. He was fan. My dad loved him. He's like, man, that guy, he looks hungover as heck, but he's here. And it didn't matter what time they got there, if it was cold out or rainy or anything. That was his one job,
That's
just make
fantastic.
sure my parents.
And I love that you thought about your parents. You get like one thing from this guy, and you're like,
Yeah,
they need a
you gotta
parking
take
spot.
care of my mom and dad.
Love
Yeah,
that.
they need a parking spot.
Have
a
you
good
seen
one.
Andy since college?
No, but we're on Facebook. We keep in
Oh,
touch.
that's
Yeah,
great.
that's the one good thing about Facebook.
Yeah.
There's others, but that's the one good
Yeah.
thing. You can keep in touch with people normally don't keep in touch with. Yeah. So
I wonder if he's paying rent and or mortgage these days.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. You never know, though. You never know.
All right, good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's great.
Once again, congrats to everybody involved, and certainly thank you to everybody who donated
No doubt.
Yes.
over the weekend as well to
Very
make
much
such a
so.
big difference. More to do on the other side, including some more Jaguars talk. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 10 to XL, 92.5 FM.
When the sun goes down, Hacker is up.
Who is that guy?
Ryan the Hacker Green.
You're one of our very special people here.
He'll tell you about tonight's games and hot topics. Hacker After Dark, right after Rick Ballou. Evenings on 1010XL.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantley, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
If you've got to have more Gators, get them anytime with the Gator Podcast Channel. Served up by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whenever you're ready, the Gator Podcast Channel is too. On the video and social channels of 1010XL.
Calling all poker players. It's tournament time at Best Bet, and the action is hot. Kick off the month with a single-day stack $30,000 guarantee at Best Bet St. Augustine on May 3rd. Then take your chance at Orange Park with the $400 $40,000 guarantee Greater Orange Park Open on May 9th. Wrap it all up on Memorial Day weekend in Jacksonville with a $400 no-limit hold'em with 6 flights and $200,000 guarantee. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, I'm Blake Bortles. People know I've always said if I wasn't playing football, I'd probably be on a construction site. So Next Gen Roofing finally let me live the dream.
Blake, why are you wearing a red practice jersey?
Always worn it for safety.
Right. Well, around here, the red jersey means you're the new guy. So you're in charge of garbage cleanup.
Perfect. I love garbage time. Always excelled in it.
It's not exactly what I meant.
Good thing Next Gen Roofing has real pros handling everything from family homes to large commercial buildings. Next Gen, teamed up with you.
Teamed up with you. You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Ready to join the team? The Jaguars and our stadium partners are hosting a job fair Wednesday, May 20th. We're looking for enthusiastic new faces to serve as ushers, ticket takers, concessionaires, security, and more. Stop by the Prime Osborne Convention Center and apply on May 20th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Professional dress, a pen, and a smile are all you need. There are 1,000 spots to be filled for the 2026 season, so join us and be a part of the Jaguars game day team.
If you're heading to the Og or you're already part of the nation's oldest, don't forget to drop into Sunset Grill. For over 30 years, serving up great chowder, seafood, wings, and cold beer. Sunset Grill, somewhere on A1A, St. Augustine Beach.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Taylor Dahl, Tom Manis, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Certainly so excited for the J Fund and everything that they do. Excited in the sense of how much money they raised, but I hope one day we don't even need the J Fund, right? I hope that the Jay McGillis legacy is going to something else because cancer has been completely wiped out off the face of the planet. That's what I would like to see.
Wouldn't that be great? I think that's so deep, though, like to peel back all those layers. Sure. You know what I mean? Like it's in our food.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if, you can only...
it's in the sun.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah, right. Exactly.
You are correct.
It's everywhere. So,
hopefully one day.
Yeah, no doubt. We're just thankful for anybody that's trying to combat it. And, we pray for the family and everything, man. It's tough. That's a tough thing to go through. But, again, like Taylor said, something that happened so tragic and turned into something so beautiful is a great, great thing. So,
absolutely. All right, continuing on with your Jacksonville Jaguars, an homage to Tom Coughlin and everything that he did here. Now Liam Cohen, certainly in year 2, hoping to pick back up where they left off last year. And I continue to hear everyone say 13-4, and I'm just going to reiterate, I'm more focused on that 5th loss than I am the 13 wins from last season. Like, not as a media person or as a fan, just like in reality, that's what happened in my mind is they lost the most important game of the season. Yes, they won a lot of important games in the regular season, but they lost the most important game of the season, which was the postseason game. So I have a feeling that's where their heads are too, the regime that exists now, right? That they're going to focus on that 5th loss. But what we have right now are odds from Vegas as far as the Jaguars' schedule for this upcoming season. And the first game has shifted just a little bit from 7.5 to now the Jaguars 7-point favorites. But as you go through it, the Jaguars are favored in 8 games and they are underdogs in 9 games.
Okay.
Meanwhile, if you look at the Houston Texans, they are favored in 13 games and underdogs in 4 games. Yeah. So I feel like Vegas believes far more in the Texans. And again, Vegas isn't always right, but Vegas believes far more in the Texans based off of these odds than the Jaguars.
Yeah. And I get it in the sense of their winning streak at the end was too longer. They won one more game in the regular season and they won a playoff game. So that's what people are going to look at. Like you just mentioned, what you are focusing on the most right now is that loss in the postseason. And so you kind of have that lot that once they won the first game, it looked brutal for CJ Stroud in that next game. And so that has to kind of take into account, I'm sure, for some things. But in this, they're probably saying, hey, this was, an offensive line that struggled mightily early on, got a little better throughout the season, but they think they probably fixed that a little bit more. They couldn't run the ball whatsoever. And because of that, there was a lot of issues when it came to being able to do things offensively. And so I think in their mind, they're saying, hey, they won, their winning streak at the end was one longer. They also won a playoff game. Their defense is one of the best defenses in the NFL, and it already was, and it honestly could continue to get better. And I think that's hard to ignore in that sense. I do think it's interesting because of how Stroud has been playing in the sense of fumbling the ball a ton and turning over the ball. And that was so much of the criticism of Trevor for so long, of he led the league and turnovers between fumbles and interceptions for a long time. And that got cleaned up a lot, especially in the second half. But then you're like, okay, but then he threw multiple interceptions in the postseason. So was it just a 6-game stretch where he kind of was locked in and was able to protect the ball? Or is this who Trevor Lawrence is? And I think they're trying to figure that out. And I think because you can argue that they're doing the same thing with quarterback and CJ Stroud, the Texans defense is a lot better and has been a lot better than the Jags defense. So I think for them, that probably accounts for a win or two, just because of how their defense can shut teams down.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, from the outside looking in, we did not, address Etienne. We haven't replaced him. We haven't replaced Lloyd. We're going kind of a status quo, running it back type with filling in a few, voids here and there. The Texans did what? Well, they revamped their O-line. They gave, and all on paper, so keep that in mind. They gave C.J. Stroud a running game, which, look, if we didn't have a running game, it would be different. You need a running game. They didn't have one last year. I mean, Woody Marks was okay. Chubb was okay, but it wasn't Joe Mixon. Yeah. I'm not saying David Montgomery's Joe Mixon, but at least they addressed it to a certain degree where they're like, okay, we're going to give the kid a running game. Nico Collins is back. Tank Dell, if he's healthy. But we didn't rest on our laurels on defense. We go and grab the defensive tackle out of Ohio State. That makes us even better up front. So we're active. It was their time to be active. We couldn't have been as active. So I get why Vegas would be like, yeah, well, look what they did. And if it comes down to Stroud, well, if we get the good Stroud, it's going to be really good. If you get the Stroud that screws it up in the playoffs, he's going to screw it up again in the playoffs. Yeah. So that's what they're going to be. But they should be a tough team. That I have us splitting them. I do. I have us losing in London but winning on the road, which people are probably like, man, how do you have them winning on the road? Late in the year, this is your time to prove your worth. Like if it's November, December, you got to show that, yeah, we're a playoff team, man, and we're going to go to Houston, and I don't care if we win by a point. It doesn't matter. We're just going to go find a way to win that game. But Houston's going to be a tough out. They're going to be a tough – that last year was no joke, just like last year was no joke for us. But again, when you lose what we've lost, and we haven't seen yet if they've replaced what they've lost, maybe they have.
Yeah.
Right? We could say maybe, yeah, Tootin might. What if Tootin becomes this, unbelievable back? And we're like, look at that. Or Chris Rodriguez. Thank you. Or whoever. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Maybe Gardeck is that missing, link. Maybe, one of these young guys is that third pass rusher that we desperately, maybe. So if that all comes together, the tide will turn, the narrative will turn. But as you look today, you're like, well, what did they do?
Yeah.
They didn't do anything. And I don't mean anything, but they didn't really do anything
They
compared
didn't do
to
nearly
what
as
the
much
Texans
as
did.
exactly what the Texans did. So the Texans start off like this: home against the Bills, home against the Bengals, at the Colts, home against the Cowboys, and then at the Titans.
Yep.
So that's a manageable schedule, but certainly there are some difficult games. As if we sit here right now, I would imagine we all expect the Bills to beat the Texans in week 1.
Those are at least home. You get both of those opponents
those are
at
at
home,
home.
which is beneficial.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I think that's going to be a fun one to watch
Those
coming out the
first
gate.
2 games are really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, if CJ Stroud doesn't play well right out the gate, they may be looking at the same place that they started, or the same results they started as last year, which was 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but they were able to rebound, obviously,
Later.
and that, so they know as a team that they can do that too if they find themselves in that situation.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Tommy, when you on paper and nationally, this is what you're going to be looking at is since that final game that these teams played, what you lost compared to what you added, how much has that changed what your team could be? You don't know. It has to obviously be played on the field for you really to see. But right now, at this point in time, that's all you can do. And to your point, what we're looking at here is you lost Devin Lloyd and Etienne, and a lot of people nationally don't think you properly replaced those 2 players.
Right.
The Texans didn't really lose anybody. Joe Mixon is, technically they cut him, but he wasn't playing anyways. And then Ward retired. But they drafted a safety who a lot of people like, McCarr and Ramsey, and then they went and signed David Montgomery. So when you look at that, there's people that are going to say, okay, well, the 2 losses that they had, you feel like they replaced them and pretty close to what, and one's a rookie, so it's TBD, but you did directly replace those with players that people feel like.
Blankenship's there too, right? Did Reed from
they brought
Philly,
Blankenship.
right?
Yep.
Well, let's just take the running back room, compare the 2. So if you said David Montgomery with Houston and Chris Rodriguez and or Tootin with the Jags, who would have the bigger year? Just based on what you know about the players.
I would say David Montgomery.
Yeah, prior experience, you'd say David Montgomery because we just don't know about Tootin.
Enough.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that's my point. I think that's what Vegas is saying. Well, they got somebody because he may not be Joe, but he's better than what they had. And he's a pretty good back.
And I know this is a complete hypothetical and you can't really do this in sports, but because we already know the results. But what if Liam Cohen had decided to give the ball more to Tootin in that game? And if the Jaguars end up beating the Bills, who knows what happens the rest of the way? But then if Tootin again continues to play well and still splits carries with ETN in the postseason, I think we all feel a lot differently too.
But yeah, I think if you're talking about, of course, if in that game Tootin had 140 rushing yards and they handed him the ball, then I'm sure at this point in time they'd say, oh, okay, well, that is the replacement for ETN. But instead, you can't say that because you didn't see it. So they're just going off of how those last final few games went, especially in the postseason, and what they replaced and added and got taken away during the offseason. That's all you can do at this point in time because you haven't seen all of these guys on the field together for any team. But I will say the Texans, for the most part, everybody that was playmakers are returning, and some, to your point, a Tank Dell may be back too. That's somebody that they didn't have all last season. So I get it in the mindset of just by what you can see on paper, depth chart, what you've already seen proven in the NFL compared to some of the to be determined, like the Jags have with a Travis Hunter full year and a Caleb Bransall playing, and some of these things, more carries for Tootin, those type of things.
And Tootin was hurt too last year, so maybe if he doesn't get hurt, maybe that messed with his game a little bit. Maybe if he's healthy the whole year, we see him build. It looked like he saw the field a lot better than that last game, with the cutbacks and whatnot, but look, we hope he's the locomotive that we need. We'd love for him to be that kind of workhorse home run hitter, throw in Rodriguez to help batter, be the battering ram. And, we've got LeQuint and whoever else to help out on third down. I mean, that's not a bad room to have. I just think today you're just sitting there going, well, that's a lot of maybes or what ifs. Well, okay.
Yeah, I guess.
And Montgomery, by the way, that's what I mean. Montgomery's a little bit of a what. You don't know that he's just going to gel with their team and he's going to be the answer. Yeah. But with his past history, you could say he's a pretty good
He's been good
back.
at multiple stops now, and multiple offensive coordinators, multiple coaches, multiple teams, multiple quarterbacks. So there is a little bit more of at least proven there.
But don't you always weigh the quarterback a little bit more than almost every other position on the field? And so that's where, to me, that is a big disparity when it comes to 13 wins being projected, or at least that they're favorites in, versus 8. Like that to me is interesting just because, and a focal point just because we feel like based off of last season, Trevor Lawrence and other seasons, but Trevor Lawrence is better than CJ Stroud. But again, that's we do that with every head-to-head team, right? Like when it comes to the Bears versus the Packers, you're always going to look at Caleb Love versus Jordan. Caleb Love. That's a basketball player. Caleb Williams versus Jordan Love, right?
Yeah, and I do. We talk about quarterbacks so much, but I do think the last couple years of Super Bowl winners kind of have pointed to run game and defense. And so maybe they're starting to look at that a little bit, because when you look at what Walker did and then Saquon the year before and then the defenses they had, you're talking way more about that than Sam Darnold and Jalen Hurts after those games. And so I do think maybe we talk so much quarterback because the quarterback rules the world and they're making $50+ million a year. And so it's obviously important, because we've seen you've got to have the quarterback and coach. We know that. But I do think that in recent years, it started to shift in the aspect of the run game and defense are really important. And you're talking about top 3 defenses and the best running backs in the game in the playoffs that have been winning.
Well, I think the market, went from, well, they're not that important to, wait, they are important, right? Kenneth Walker III just got a massive contract because of what he did in the postseason. Prior to that, he was just okay. Him and Charbonnet were a nice 1-2 punch. But, man, he got into the playoffs and boom, and everyone's like, oh, I got to have that.
Yeah.
Because every quarterback does need somewhat of a running game. Maybe not a dominant one, but, just take the pressure off so you can maybe get into a better rhythm. So, again, we may have the answer right here. It may already be here. Maybe in Bayou Tootin and Rodriguez Jr., right? Is it Jr.? Rodriguez Jr.? I think
just call him
Thank
C-Rod.
you.
But yeah.
C-Rod Jr.
Nate Borkature too, right? Like that's another piece of the run game. I know he's not he's not a running back. Yeah, Manuel Pregnon for sure.
Yeah.
A couple of comments from the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can get in on the action, 904-641-1010. Today's a great day. Just paid for my tickets. 13th year having season
Congratulations.
tickets. Let go. That's right. Or let's go. I do hope if people want season tickets for this year, go ahead and get them, because I think they will sell out before the season begins with the limited capacity for sure. And if you want seats, especially if the Jaguars do make the postseason and have a postseason game, you have access to those seats before everyone else. So that's a huge component.
And let's try to make a pact together. Recently, I had a friend who's from Pittsburgh ask me for tickets for the game, and I said absolutely not.
Yeah.
I am not. A, it's limited capacity, and B, we don't really want you in our state. I'm sorry, we'll still be friends, but I am not going to help you get a ticket to the Jaguar Monday night game against the Steelers.
Absolutely.
So let's make a pact, Jag fans. And I know it's hard because, hey, I'll give you double your money. Oh, well, never mind that. Here you go.
But for this season, with only 42,000, please. Another one, his friend Kanisha is getting surgery today for dealing with cancer. Bill said she'll be done about 3 days if all goes well. Down and out for about 3 days, but
prayers
back. But prayers for Kanisha for sure. And we'll keep the conversation going. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go.
Money Pages in your mailbox right now. It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday, backed by Morgan & Morgan.
The next 30 seconds could save you hundreds on your car insurance. At The Hartford, we're passionate about your protection. If you're 50 or over, AARP Auto Insurance from The Hartford gives you benefits that really matter. And you could save $597 when you switch. How's that for a little peace of mind? Visit trusthartford.com today. The Hartford, your protection is our passion. The Hartford Insurance Group, Inc. pays royalty fees to AARP for the use of its intellectual property. AARP and its affiliates are not insurers. Savings vary.
Hey, Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned and operated business right here on the First Coast for nearly 20 years. Known for reliability, quality craftsmanship, and professional service, Armstrong Fence, they handle it all, from big projects like stadiums and schools to your very own backyard. They build a wicked strong fence, and they do it right the first time. So when you need a fence, you can trust Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family's secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do, stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
At the Y, there's no place like this place. More than just a gym, the YMCA is a community where support, connection, and your well-being come first. And now, getting started is easier than ever with Your Rate, an income-based, affordable membership designed to fit your lifestyle and your budget so you can focus on what really matters, feeling better, moving more, and connecting with others. Join today and discover a place where you truly belong. Learn more about Your Rate at fcymca.org.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on their versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0 down and up to 84 months financing available, and save up to $3,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com. Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this Tuesday afternoon. On a Tuesday, by the way, we just filmed our record prediction video, so that will be dropping, I'm sure, in the next day or so. That's right.
That's right.
We've got
midnight.
Yeah, we're gonna drop it at midnight. We're just as cool as Drake and everybody else who drops their music at midnight.
That's right.
Because that's when music's released. Is Thursday at midnight.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And then I wake up Friday mornings and then I listen to all of it. I do not stay up past midnight to listen to new music.
Me either. It's honestly, because I like waking up. I like that it's midnight because then when I wake up and I'm getting ready for work in the morning or doing whatever, it's ready to go and I can listen to the album right when I wake up. But I'm boycotting Drake a little bit right now.
Are you?
He won't wear a Packers jacket.
He wouldn't wear a Packers jacket.
He did wear a Packers jacket.
He wore one.
It was his album's called Iceman, which was like Caleb's nickname this last year. And then in the launch video for the Iceman he wore a Packers jacket.
Huh.
So
man,
boycotting a little.
Yeah, forever.
Even though a lot of his lyrics were praising Caleb, so it's a little weird. I don't know what he's. I think he's just trying to get attention, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, he's got plenty of attention.
Yeah, he definitely did. He dropped 3 albums in one.
Weren't people upset that Caleb's nickname was Iceman because there was a Iceman prior to?
There was an NBA player. Yeah. And
Gervin,
then
he was the finger roll.
Somebody else said something, and then they started arguing over it. But you can have different nicknames. There's a Marvel character, Iceman.
Yeah.
There's multiple Icemen.
Yeah, like Top Gun.
Yeah.
Iceman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
How about the one with who was it? Lamar Jackson, Cal Ripken, and Aikman? They wanted 8.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think Cal should get it. He was. I mean, his career was Cal Ripken, right?
And you
I don't
can
know.
technically, I read
Aikman
about
does
it.
have multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
read it
true.
because you can trademark if it's like different things. You can trademark it. So like
Yeah.
a baseball player could have the same nickname as a baseball, and then there could be a basketball. But it starts getting tricky if there's like multiple football players that want the same name. Because I was looking at that, I was like, if you trademark something, like how exactly does that work? So it's interesting how it does. But if they're not overlapping in what they are, like movies or sport or whatever the case may be, multiple people can trademark one nickname.
Yeah. I wonder if Wingard trademarked that.
Do we?
Always will be us or something.
It was always the Jags.
It was that one. Really stuck.
It was always us.
Just you and I. Yeah, I wonder if he because wasn't that his thing?
It was.
Yeah.
I don't
know
think
why
he
he would, but
trademarked it.
we put on a shirt or something, then you get royalty if someone sells it, I guess.
That part
kind
is
of thing.
true. I don't
Because they
know
had them on the
enough were
towels, the
sold.
rally towels and stuff that year. So I don't know
Yeah.
if he did or not.
He jinxed us with grabbing the terrible towel.
Oh, yeah, he yanked it.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a good one.
It was.
Probably not.
That's all right.
Whenever I think of the terrible towels, I just think of the mascot and the Ebola.
Oh, yeah.
That was a whole
terrible
drama,
towels
too.
happened.
That was.
He got in trouble.
He did get in trouble
Yeah.
for that one.
Certain things leave alone.
Yeah.
All right, back to the odds. So I gave y'all the Texans. They're favored in
Okay.
13 games. They are underdogs in 4 games. The Colts are favored in 6 games and underdogs in 11,
Okay.
which is interesting. They are favored. The Colts are favored at home in Week 18 against the Jags, so by 1.5 points. Down here, they are underdogs by 4.5 points. And then skipping down to the Titans, they are favored in just 2 games, the
Wow.
season opener, and then one other game. And then, of course, they're underdogs in the rest of the games, the other 15 games. So they're favorites, I should say, home against the Jets, the Titans, and then home against the Browns in Week 7. And then the rest of the games they are not favored in.
Wow. How about that?
I know teams don't look at this. This doesn't actually matter. This
Yep.
is just coming from Vegas, but I find it interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, because we talk about it all the time when it comes to like preseason rankings. This is similar to that, where you don't know yet what any of these teams. Every year, people will be like, "This team has the hardest strength of schedule, and this team has the easiest strength of schedule, and this team has this," and it's like never ends up going that way because there's just you don't know. There's too many additions.
Yeah.
There's new coaches. There's new players. There's quarterback movement. There's injuries that happen. Obviously, last year, if you would have said that Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow wouldn't be in the postseason, I wonder what the odds were on that.
Absolutely.
So it's just so hard. So it's similar in the sense of like that, the strength of schedule and these odds, because you have to, that's during the season, they change weekly of what happens and when injuries are going on. And if, some teams hit a win streak and then they're like, oh, the odds shoot up a little bit. And so, but it is still gives you an idea of what they think off-season wise, how these teams have done and how much they've improved just in the off-season at least.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's improvement. Tennessee's got some improvement on paper.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Especially
Cam,
defensively.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Indy kind of was quiet on that front. They kept Alec Pierce, obviously, and brought DJ back. They get Sauce back. I mean, they should be, they got a running game.
They still have Anthony
Got a
Richardson.
good old lineman, They should be somewhat I don't see how they could be favored. Well, I guess unless we're sitting guys, I would think that if we're playing full steam, they're dead. That's a dub up in Indy.
That's a dub.
If you want. But you're right, it changes because you just don't know how good. Look, everything can look good on paper, and then it just it doesn't work out for some reason. There's no chemistry. Or you start off too slow and you never catch up, or you do catch up. I mean, it's amazing that Texas went 0-3 and then finished 12-5.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah,
and their schedule. I mean, look, we all in the AFC South have similar schedules. We're all playing the NFC East, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all playing the AFC North.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, Cincy, Baltimore. Yeah, we're all got the same ones. A couple outliers here and there, but we're all basically pretty much playing the same teams.
the biggest difference is the Jags only have 6 home games.
Right.
Is going to be the biggest indicate, the biggest discrepancy when it comes to you play a lot of similar teams, but Jags are in London. There's a stretch, almost 2 months of time where they have one home game in 2 months. That's a long stretch of being on the road.
It's a lot of travel.
Because they call them home games in London. But
yeah.
Right.
I think most of us don't consider that a home game.
No.
When you're looking at the bye weeks, the Texans' bye week is week 8.
Yep.
The Jags, of course, is week 7. The Colts is not until week 13. And then the Titans' bye is week 9.
9, yeah.
I feel like 9 is honestly like the perfect
best
time.
13's too late. I remember having that I think here they had a late one a couple years ago. I know Chicago did too. And it sucks because it's first of all, you're waiting forever. All these injuries are piling up and you just feel like you don't, normally you use that bye week of like, okay, let's get right a little bit. And when you're waiting until week 13, and usually week 13 is when you need to start winning some games because it's that final stretch of the year, and there's usually a lot of divisional games towards the end that matter, and waiting that long kind of sucks. But yeah, I think most people would like the 8, 9, or 10 that week. But I have seen some people liking the early ones recently. You know, they'll have like weeks 5 or 6, and I think a lot of people have been, okay, you start that stretch where it takes some time for teams to start getting going. You're getting going, you get a break, and then you just get to like go on a run with a little of that extra week.
They get to decide if they want the bye week after their games, right? Is that how that
believe
works?
that they can talk to the league because they've been invested in the international slate for a long time now, that they can request. I don't know that it's automatically guaranteed, but I think it's pretty much usually given to them.
Well, especially if you're the only team going back to back, right, this year. So I would think
giving up home games back to back.
That's interesting. I wonder what the strategy is for that. You know, like what do you expect as a staff? You know, like, hey, let's think about it. Like, hey, I mean, if you come away beating Philly and Houston and London, those are massive emotional type games. Do you want to keep it running and maybe, take a bye later in the year, or let's take a bye, get, healthy, back on time, back on track, and then let's attack the rest of the year?
Because last year it was the Rams game in London, the bye, and then they came out and it was a must-win game against the Chargers, and they obliterated the Chargers.
Right. Yeah, right.
So maybe they were thinking, look, we did really well after the bye a year ago after getting our butts
kicked. And we go on a run. Who cares if it's 8, 9, or 10 weeks?
Right.
I guess,
Yeah, there's all different ways, obviously, to strategize. If it was up to me, I would love my bye week probably like right smack in the middle, or a week after that.
I did see something recently too, because I know right now they said there was the Jags can say home games that they didn't want over in London, and I guess the NFL is now discussing that teams can't have say in that anymore. They can't say who they do or don't want to play. Like the NFL is just going to schedule who they want to schedule. I'm guessing they want some better games over there just to start if you're wanting to expand the game, you can't keep sending bad games over there, and so maybe they want to make them a little bit more competitive in that sense. I think these two are obviously with the Eagles and Texans this year. You don't want to lose that here probably, but if you're trying to talk about a product that people would want to watch nationally and beyond outside of the United States, internationally, then that's two games that probably do a good job of that.
We like it or not, the Texans will be considered one of the teams to beat in the AFC.
Absolutely.
They will.
Yep. All right, Tom's take on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
There's a certain romance to radio play-by-play.
We need you to be all strong and hot.
Experience the most play-by-play sports on 1010XL.
Weight loss gets a lot easier when you stop guessing. Reclaim by Awaken 180. 10 weeks, a real target, finish line, and most importantly, results. Medication-free and free support for life at awaken180weightloss.com.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday is
litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks, and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting!
Hey Jacksonville, listen up. Termite swarms are active right now, and once they get inside, damage can happen fast. Termites don't knock, they silently attack the structure of your home, leaving behind costly repairs and long-term headaches. Lauren Brooks here. Protect what you've worked hard for with the proven protection homeowners trust. Terminix It, with advanced termite treatment and prevention solutions. Visit Terminix.com to schedule your free termite inspection today.
gang, Prosser here for my friends Chad and Sandy. What are your concerns? What struggles do you anticipate when it comes time to sell your home? What is it that bothers you? What's keeping you from getting max money as quickly as possible? Well, I don't know what those reasons are because I know they're all silly. Because Chad and Sandy have one down-to-the-line guarantee. Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. It'll be at a price and a rate that you agree upon beforehand. So if you need to sell now, fast, easy, stress-free, and you need max price, then you need Chad and Sandy. The government's making moves intended to push mortgage rates lower. The last time rates dropped, we saw a selling and buying frenzy. Now's the time to prepare. It's time to call Chad and Sandy. Darcy in San Jose did. I wanted to move to a more walkable, vibrant area. Within 3 days of working with Chad and Sandy's team, I found the perfect home. They do it stress-free with a guarantee. Go to chadandsandy.com or call 414-6200. That's chadandsandy.com.
Ready to join the team? The Jaguars and our stadium partners are hosting a job fair Wednesday, May 20th. We're looking for enthusiastic new faces to serve as ushers, ticket takers, concessionaires, security, and more. Stop by the Prime Osborne Convention Center and apply on May 20th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Professional dress, a pen, and a smile are all you need. There are 1,000 spots to be filled for the 2026 season, so join us and be a part of the Jaguars game day team.
Bring your home back to life with Zero Res, a fresher clean that you can actually feel. This month, take 25% off all services, hardwood tile, LVP, carpet, air ducts, and more. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them 1010XL sent you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Be in a movie.
It does sound like
You're watching Charlie's Angels?
Yeah, it felt like, not me, but it felt like, I love Charlie's Angels. Oh, they're so hot. Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable. All of them.
The original, was Farrah Fawcett an original Charlie's Angel?
She was.
Okay.
It was Farrah. It was Jackson, the dark-haired girl, and Jacqueline Smith. Oh, what a beauty. When then Cheryl Ladd came in. Remember Cheryl Ladd fellas out there? Yep. You remember Cheryl Ladd, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I sure do. But yeah, that was great. That did feel like kind of like a mystery, like,
right?
a little thing. Yeah. Cool.
I like it. All
Good
right.
memories.
Beyond Charlie's Angels, let's find out what else is on Tom's brain.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com. Or dial # law. That's all.
All right, my take today on this beautiful Morgan & Morgan Tuesday afternoon. No, I'm not going to make fun of Urban yet. Hopefully we do that in hour number 2. You guys probably took care of some of that.
We did it yesterday, for sure.
Yesterday, loser. But no, my take is very simple. Give back as best you can. And it doesn't have to be money. Time, a little bit of effort. Even just, on social media, sharing different organizations' message that you align with, maybe whatever it is, try to give back in this lifetime because it'll do you so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to do. And it's just a wonderful thing to like, I don't, I feel like I'm a real small, and I am a small part of the J Fund, but even just that makes me feel great that at least my daughter, Avery, she volunteers. She was at the gala. She does her own events that raises money. My wife and I are all into it. And it's just a good thing to give back. So that's my take. No matter what you are in life, where you're at, how much money, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, try to give back in this world because it'll do you good. And that's my take, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, ForThePeople.com, and on your cell at Pound Law. That's all.
Yeah, I think to your point, it may not be money for some people, but there are other avenues in which to serve. And so I think when you look at people who volunteer a lot, whether they're retired, whether they're working, they seem to be the happiest people.
Yeah.
Because they understand what their time is doing for others and they get to see the benefits of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see that even obviously recently with the Ironman that was just in town.
Yeah.
All of the volunteers that took to
Yes.
get everything just going throughout. You have that Players Championship. We see all the volunteers every year with that. And that's just two of the bigger events that Jacksonville hosts where the volunteers are a massive part of how that even is able to happen every single year. And Ironman, obviously, this year. But it is cool. And I know there's a lot of people and there's a lot of ways when you talk about it. I know several years here, I've done the stuff for the collections for the domestic violence shelters, and that sometimes is just clothes, like clean out your closet once a year and, you know, donate clothes and things like that. So there's a lot of ways to help, and it doesn't always have to be money. And I think that's an important thing to be said.
One of my good friends, Andy, listens to the show. He cooks down at the church one day a week. You know, they just cook a bunch of food. They feed the homeless. They try to feed the food banks, you know, and he just his time. Takes some time, but you can go down there and volunteer and, you know, help out wherever. So, try to do it if you can.
We have a lot of great organizations in town for sure. Speaking of the Ironman, by the way, Becky Nimnick, who I gave a shout out to on Friday, I found out she finished it in 15 hours and 31 minutes. So across the finish line right around 11:30 p.m. That's unbelievable.
Crazy.
I know, to be working out in that capacity for over 15 hours.
Yeah, it was. Listen, we pulled it off. I would say overall, there was some traffic down south. I was in some of that.
Okay, people that I saw were upset with not having more signage ahead of time. It wasn't during the actual event. It was ahead of time, letting them know what was going to be closed
off. Yeah,
is what I saw online.
Yeah.
But I wasn't downtown or in Nocatee.
Yeah, you just had to go around it a little bit. But other than that, it was fine. I mean, you saw some of them, like, I don't even know how they were going to make the run. They were riding their bike on Roscoe, and you're like, you look like you're going to pass out. Like, it's so hot out here. Like, oh my gosh. And now you got to go run a marathon? Oh, God bless those people.
Yeah. It was a hot day to be doing that.
It was really warm.
To do it all, whether you finish at 15 or whatever.
Yeah, good for you.
God, that's a phenomenal accomplishment.
It really is. And like you said, shout out to everyone who volunteered. I saw Molly McDonald, who used to work here at 1010XL. Now that she's a nurse, she was in the medic tent. Medical tent there. Yeah. So we need all those types of people to pull off events like this. And I would imagine that it comes back, that we have another Ironman here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think we pulled it off.
I mean, we have the largest land mass wise of any city. So
you can spread it out all sorts of ways. However you need to spread it out. We've got a lot of river here.
Yeah.
Did the swimming work out the way they wanted it to? Like, did the current get involved? Like, was there any problems?
I know Olivia told us, our new receptionist, Olivia Brooks, she told us, that she had read that they made sure that they were going to be downstream.
Yeah.
So,
well, geez, you'd be.
Would
never make it.
It should help you a little bit.
Come save me. I cannot swim any longer.
I might have told y'all once before when I was on the swim team, they took us down to Ichitucknee, and in order, I guess, to just work us extra hard, they had us swim against the current.
Yeah.
No hands, butterfly kick only.
Oh my gosh.
It was.
I thought you were.
It was hard
kind of
as all get
or
out.
something.
It was very difficult. I felt like a dolphin by the time all was said and done, going against that current. All right, more to do on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Duval starts with D. Jacksonville Sports Radio is 1010XL.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Backed by Morgan & Morgan. For the people. Dial pound law.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
If you want more teal in your daily diet, Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Exclusive guests, sharp analysis, and nonstop Duval football. Served by Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Homeowners, ready to let the sunshine in without letting your energy bills go up? At Renewal by Anderson, you've got 2 ways to save on new windows and doors this month. Take 20% off your entire window and door replacement project, or choose no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. But this offer expires May 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
All right, here we go. Jacksonville summer's around the corner, and the heat is bringing the pressure early. Your AC takes the field. It's trying to hold up the weight. Warm air, weak airflow. The system's in trouble. Time to make the call. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Experienced AC techs, honest pricing, and they'll get it done right the first time. And here's the play right now. Take $500 off the total price of a new AC system during the Memorial Day promotion. That's how you stay cool and win the day. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's New York Pizza. If dinner seems expensive, come grab a pizza that's hot, fresh, and affordable. Feed the whole family without spending a ton. Tony D's New York Pizza. Easy, quick, and always a good call.
Hi, Frank Frangie here, inviting you to join my wife and me June 22nd of 2027 as we experience the food, wine, and culture of iconic Italy with Colette. Our journey takes us to historic cities and enchanting medieval towns. We'll enjoy a wonderful 7-night stay in the Montecatini Term A famous resort and spa town nestled in the heart of the rolling hills of Tuscany. Visit the cultural treasures of Florence, Pisa, and lovely Lucca. Along the way, we'll discover the food, wine, and old world charm, and even have a special chef-led cooking class. This and so much more. Colette handles the details, flights, hotels, meals, and the local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss joining my wife and me in Italy. Now, to learn more, visit 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942. That's 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
Hey gang, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. It's May, which means the oven is on. It's also National Skin Cancer Awareness Month. Bottom line, take care of your skin. Protect it like your life depends on it because, well, it does. Use the sunscreen, wear the hat, put on the shirt. Keep yourself protected. To ensure your skin is in top-notch shape, you can always rely on my doc, the Beaches Dermatology. Been going to them for years. And my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
Frank Ranger here with Coach Delaney from Coil Fencing. You've been building winning teams at Fletcher for years. How does that correlate with installing fences here in Northeast Florida?
Well, Frank, at Coil Fencing, we like to take the coach approach. Implement a game plan and execute it on the field. That's been our winning recipe for 99 years.
And you tackle more than fences, right?
Absolutely. We also service and install automatic gates, perfect for multifamily communities, your business, or residents.
The best defense is a good offense. Visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Gate Stores. The Stanley Cup playoffs had a wild Game 7 finish last night as the Canadians defeated the Sabres 3-2 in overtime and will now face the Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Finals. Also in thrilling fashion, Victor Wembanyama had a historic night as he led his San Antonio Spurs past the OKC Thunder in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. It's 88 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air & Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
10XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging.
Taylor All-Time McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Some baseball will come up in Lauren's Lane in a little bit, but I can tell you right now, Austin P and JU are squaring off in the A-Sun Championship, the very first game of that A-Sun Championship down in DeLand. That's on the Stetson campus, and JU is up 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth.
All right.
So JU is the home team, so they're up to bat right now. So yeah, we'll keep you updated with that. As Max just noted, we had a Game 7 last night in hockey, and I felt bad for the Buffalo Sabres.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was actually cheering for the Sabres. Obviously, everybody knows when it comes to not winning, and it was kind of this magical run they had towards the end. They were just playing incredible hockey, and for it to come into that and end the way that it ended. It's really unfortunate, but I do think that as a fan you have to be excited because there's no way that fan base was expecting to do what they did this year. So really fun in that sense, and kind of connected here. Obviously the Jacksonville Icemen, that was their former affiliate. Now they just announced they were switching last night to the Minnesota Wild, which I think is cool because Quinn Hughes plays for the Minnesota Wild, and not saying you'll ever see Quinn Hughes here, but you just have that connection of one of the USA hockey guys that's up there. And it's just cool to kind of have we've had multiple affiliates here and learning new teams as you start to have those. And Wild's obviously a very competitive team, going from one playoff team affiliate to another playoff team affiliate. It's really cool.
It is interesting how in hockey it switches far more than in baseball.
Yeah.
Like for the Jumbo Shrimp, obviously it's usually the Marlins, or it's been the Marlins, and it's going to be that, for a long time. But in hockey, it feels like it changes every other year.
Yeah, it's crazy. The Canadians had to go to 7 both rounds.
Yeah.
And the Hurricanes swept both rounds. That Hurricane team, I remember watching them last year. They were unbelievable.
Good.
Yeah, they're good. They've been good for a few years now.
Yeah, that's who I
That should
thought
be a
was going
good
to
one.
win it all last year, and they ended up not. But they just keep. I mean, they're good. Yeah, they're one of the most, probably when it comes to depth and well-built teams from top to bottom. It's definitely the Canes.
So we have Golden Knights versus the Avalanche. So obviously Vegas versus Denver, and that's tomorrow night at 8:00 in Game 1 of that series, and then the Canadians versus the Hurricanes will be Thursday at 8 p.m. I feel like the Golden Knights and the Avalanche have both won recently, right? Both won the cup recently. So I feel like one of those teams, this is my very limited knowledge of hockey, I feel like one of those teams will win it all. That's what I'm here to tell you.
Okay.
They're all, the teams left, I think, are all really, really good hockey teams. And I love the Avs, honestly. I'd probably root for the Avs through all of this to win it all. They have some of the, just when it comes to the puck handling and like finesse style, but then they'll also just kind of be a little bit more physical when you want them to be physical. They're one of those teams that can win either way, which I think a lot of times you see benefit. That's what happened to the Panthers the last couple years when they've won. They can have those guys that can puck handle really well and, get a lot of shots on goals, but then they also have the guys that can be really physical, and that's the perfect combination. Not every team is like that. There's some teams in hockey that you just know are the more physical teams, and they'll just stick people into the boards and do that type of stuff. And then you have the ones that just more so are going to have a lot of shots on goal, and they'll score because they're able to get those second chances and stuff around the net. But it'll be fun. I like that this is the Final Four. There's nobody that I just really don't like at all. You obviously at this point now are kind of like, don't want the Canadians to win because you want the non-Canadian teams to continue on.
Was Nathan McKinnon on the USA team?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. His name sounded super familiar, so that's what I thought. He's on the Avalanche.
You got to wonder if Montreal just going to wear out. They've been playing
a lot of extra hockey.
A lot of compared to the other team. Golden Knights, they seem like only a few years, right?
They
but
won
been
the year
as
they
heck.
came into the league.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Our friend Derek goes to I see him on Twitter posting from the Golden Knights.
I've heard those games, and we've been 3 times in like a year and a half we went to Vegas, and all 3 times I was like, I kind of want to go to a game because I have heard they're really fun games because they just said it's a massive party, which is Vegas in general. But everybody I've talked to, including Derek, was like, just go. Like, even if you're not a hockey fan there, you'll have fun because there's like a DJ, and in between periods, it's like a dance party and everybody's drinking and having a good time. So it's one of the things where we talk about the Icemen do such a great job here when it comes to, even if you're not a diehard hockey fan or don't know much about the game, they make you interested in going because it's just a good time from start to finish. And I saw again that they led the league again this year in attendance, the Icemen, by averaging over 1,000 people more than the next. And so they just continue to go. And it wasn't the best of seasons for them either. It was honestly a little bit of a down year, and they were still able to pack the house constantly.
We support our team.
I love Icemen.
Get our NHL team in here
That's
next.
what I know.
If we're getting that kind of crowd, it could.
You never know.
You never know. Yeah.
You never know. And then in the NBA last night, obviously Victor Wembanyama, you heard Max say his stats: 41 points, 24 rebounds. SGA, meanwhile, 24 points and 3 rebounds. He was 7 of 23. And then tonight we have Cavs, Knicks. But I asked this question of RJ yesterday, Tom. Who's more famous or more popular? SGA after winning, obviously, the MVP twice in a row, or Victor Wembanyama? RJ said Wemby, and obviously last night goes to show you that his stardom is
rising, continuing to rise.
Yes.
I mean, the way that guy moves at 7'6" is unbelievable.
It's wild.
And he's so long. Like, how do you even defend it?
It's
Clearly,
funny
they
because,
couldn't
like,
last night.
If Olivier Rioux, the Gators basketball player, could ever get to something like this, like then you'd think he'd be the best player in the world.
He's gone, right?
He went to another
Yeah.
school, a smaller school, but because he's 7'11".
Yeah, and there's some people where that length. I always think about Taco Fall, where like sometimes that it's too awkward, and their bodies don't move quick enough for
And
it
that's
looks
Ryu.
awkward,
Right,
and that's
right.
Ryu too. But not Wemby.
Right.
Man, he's just
No, like Manute
they're like 10
Bol
block
was
shots.
a
I'm like, no
weirdo.
wonder he just puts his hand up and everything's
Yeah.
blocked.
I don't mean he was a weirdo. He just ran strange.
Right.
Who?
Manute Bol. He was 7'6", but he was like the Tin Man running down the thing.
Because it's not normal, obviously, to be that athletic at that height.
Yeah.
Typically, you are a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
But look, I think RJ, to answer your question yesterday, I really feel like the entire casual basketball fan world or the non-diehard NBA fans, they already knew who Wemby was at this point in time.
Do you think, RJ, it's kind of interesting because we talked about it yesterday in the sense of SGA, and he's won back-to-back MVPs at this time.
Yep.
He was in the finals, and usually you would think that player would be the more popular, recognizable. But I think because of the size and stuff, Wemby's name just keeps kind of growing.
I think you could probably make that argument, just because of the size. And I think what he's able to do out on the floor. I mean, you listen to a guy like Tom McManus, and you're saying, a guy at 7'6", who, I may even go as tall as 7'7", and you're saying, this is a guy just straight out of a video game. I mean, it's like you mix Kevin Durant with Shaquille O'Neal, and I mean, you're basically saying like, I'm getting a big guy who can put his feet on the backboard when he dunks. What he's doing is.
He's a freak of nature.
And the logo three, like that three from so far, from deep, that's obviously also not normal.
Right. Well, I mean, on the one hand, when we've seen big guys with guard skills, normally it's because, at some point in high school, some point in college, they hit this crazy growth spurt a la Anthony Davis. He was 6'3". One summer he grows 6-7 inches, and now, I'm 6'11", but I have guard skills because, I mean, that's what I've been doing, kind of up until this point before the growth spurt. I mean, when we thought that Giannis was about as freaky as it got.
That's right.
In terms of, being a guy who's like 6'11", he's not shooting like a Victor Wembanyama. I mean, he's not handling like a Victor Wembanyama. I mean, no one hits like Gaston. No one shoots like Gaston.
That's right. You know it.
So this is what Victor Wembanyama is doing is on a completely different level. I think the only thing I'm asking now is health. I mean, listen, I mean, we got from a 7'5", 7'6" guy, we got 8 good years out of Yao.
Right.
Who knows if I mean, we got 8 good years out of Yao,
Right.
and if his feet weren't an issue, we probably could have gotten maybe 12 to 15 years out of him. So hopefully with Wemby, there won't be any issues with him down the line because I mean what he's doing. I know people were on the early train of saying maybe Jokic, by the time his career is said and done, we may have to look at him as top 5. I think we found the guy that may be arguing about top 2, top 3 once it's all said and done.
That spin move he does and then takes it to the hole is just like you look like you're 6'4" doing that.
Yeah.
You're 7'7".
I know, it's wild.
It is unbelievable, the athletic. So I look, obviously back-to-back MVPs is phenomenal, but I think he's the darling right now, Wemby. I think everyone's, and if you haven't, the minute you see him, you're going to be like, oh, I want to watch this guy. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, holy cow, this is an enigma almost.
And I think it's good for the league because it's ushering in a little bit younger of talent. And yes, he's not American, and I know some people are.
Francois, right? He's from France.
We've got France, right?
We got big people in France. Huh? They
Shea
get big over there.
Gildas Alexander's Canadian, but that stuff doesn't bother me. Like when I watch an incredibly talented person, whether it's on the field, on the court, it doesn't matter to me where you're from.
Yeah, and RJ, you and I have had this conversation a lot in previous years of what happens, like who is that next star going to be? And I remember a few years ago we were like, I don't know. It could have been a Ja Morant, but then he started getting a little wild and things fell off and like kind of lost some of that stuff. And so we were like, is it going to be, an Anthony Davis or somebody like that? And so it does kind of feel like Wemby's taken that over this last year and a half.
Yes.
Who would you say otherwise?
Other than Wemby?
Yeah. Like the face of NBA, you feel like could be that.
It feels like the league would like. It still feels like they're fighting on it. They would like to have an American-born player. And if they could have their American-born player, it would be Anthony Edwards. But Anthony Edwards has said for the last couple of years that, your face of the league is that big guy in San Antonio. So I think this is, for lack of a better phrase, the Pandora's box. But I mean, I think this is kind of the can of worms that you opened in '92. I think what David Stern and what the athletics committee was able to allow with NBA players being able to go into the Olympics, you hear so many guys from overseas basically saying, listen, I watched those Olympic games. It made me want to go to the NBA. It made me want to play. And I mean, throughout that time, we had some pretty good players, come out of that. And, Arvydas Sabonis, Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, et cetera, Peja Stojakovic. But none of those guys where you were saying face of the league, like real good players, but, not face of the league. Yao Ming is kind of this enigma. I mean, like 7'6", and, he makes a guy like Shaquille O'Neal, who's 7'1", 305, look, small.
Yeah.
So, but you never thought, our best player in the league is going to be someone not from American soil. We have the best players. How can we say that a guy from overseas is better than one of our guys? You have to make a decision now.
Yeah.
If you're the NBA, I mean, I think you're in a good place if you're the NBA when you talk about talent, but I don't think, to your point, Lauren, I don't think that it's a bad thing if you say, hey, listen, like our best player is a foreign-born player. If you think about it, I mean, 5 of maybe your top 7 players are all foreign guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the league now, not all time.
In the league now. So, I mean, are you going to throw up at the fact that if you say Victor Wembanyama is our face of, our entire organization, when I think that was kind of what was going to become at some point after what you did in 1992, I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
Baseball doesn't care.
Yeah.
They're
I don't
leaning
care.
into the Japanese player right now.
Yeah. And listen, who knows what those 92 guys were doing off the court? You know what I'm saying? Might have been fertile over there. Who knows?
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's valid. By the way, one other basketball story I saw that LSU is trying to get R.J. Luis Jr. to come play for them. He was the 2025 Big East Player of the Year. He declared for the 2025 NBA draft and then signed a G League contract, never actually played in the G League. But he's not eligible actually to play right now. But LSU's trying to get him on their team and, of course, going to go through the court, just like Charles Bediako did in Alabama, but this obviously in Louisiana. So come on, college athletics.
Which I did also talk about kind of on the same topic, the Sorsby topic with, the kid that was betting, obviously, and then he's doing whatever, trying to fight that. The Judge Philip Hayes has a bachelor's degree and a law degree from Texas Tech, is the one that's going to be deciding on this.
Of course he is. We are going to rubber stamp that. You are able to come back, and I'll actually put some NIL dollars in your pocket as well to boot. All right, Lauren's Lane on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels. 1010XL on 82.5 FM.
1010XL gives you the most Jaguars in NFL.
It's all a bit much.
The most Gators in college football.
Forgive me if I take a moment to process it.
Get maximum football on 1010XL.
Hey, Hickett here, and oh man, TopDressing.com came and hit my lawn with that deep aeration. I got to see their truck. Ooh, is that cool? It's like a transformer. Aerators rolling right off it. They punched the yard. They dropped their proprietary mix and cleaned up like they were never there. Next step, rich, green St. Augustine grass. If your lawn needs a real turnaround, call TopDressing.com today for your free estimate. They'll make your grass look like a golf course for real. Call today and top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday, protected by Morgan & Morgan.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be a 9-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Trust me, I know this. I've been dealing with Nimnick forever, and they really are that good. For 3 generations, Nimnick's been the place customers keep coming back to. Customers like me, treating you right, giving the most back to our community, more choices and better prices. It's just the best place to buy cars, and I can promise you that. So who gives you the best experience when you're buying a car? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
You don't think this would be a good moment to text somebody?
There's never a bad moment to share your opinion on the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Share your opinion
As soon as possible.
at 641-1010.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out of pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for fixing my air conditioner last week. It's way nicer at my place now.
Glad we could help. Good to know it was just a small repair.
I know, a new air conditioner can be pretty expensive.
I mean, they do keep your whole house nice. That's a lot of space to keep cool.
I know.
And they do it all summer long, even when the weather is totally Jacksonville temperature outside.
I know.
Luckily, if you ever do need a new AC, we can arrange a financing plan that'll make it easy for you to handle.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Here, put on these sunglasses.
Whoa. They can show banking information? Cool glasses.
Short term, long term, low interest, zero down payment. There's all kinds of options for bigger projects or even repairs as low as $500.
I wish I had these math sunglasses in high school.
You and me both, pal.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
All right, let's drive into Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
I'm a little nervous for Jacksonville University right now as the bases are loaded for Austin P in the top of the 5th. And there is just one out, but this looks like it's going to be an out. Okay, good. Okay. 2 outs there. They just need one more to get out of that inning. But again, that is in the top of the 5th. And good luck to JU because, again, this part of things is single elimination before you get to, or no, this is double. I always forget.
Which one's which?
Yeah, because the other ones, like I said yesterday, are single elimination. And I want to say this part's single elimination, and then it gets to double elimination.
Yeah.
I think that's, that is correct. Yeah. That is the way it goes. All right. In Class 4, or in Class 2A, True North Miami yesterday defeated Berkeley Prep 9-4. So Trinity Christian will play True North today at 4 p.m. for the state title. Tom, did you ever play for a state title?
No.
In any sport?
No. The only thing I played for was in 8th grade, the basketball. We won the Chicagoland championship.
Oh, fun.
We went 28-1.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we were good. We were a good team. But no, never. Our high school teams weren't that good for some reason. No, but it's, I mean, to be able to say that is pretty awesome.
That. The farthest we ever made it in soccer was regional finals. And I remember just how crushing it was to lose. I think that was my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
And you think once you make it that far, like you're going to make it to the Final Four. You just, that's just obviously
like,
the
we
biggest.
got here. Why, we're going to keep
the biggest
going.
goal.
Right. Yeah.
But I remember that game was on the road and we lost. And speaking of losing, unfortunately for Clay, they lost to Jesuit today in the Class 4A state title in baseball. They lost 5-2, but obviously a really good season for them. And then in the high school softball semifinals, Schoolhouse Prep faces University Christian today at 4:30. So like we talked about yesterday, go UC. I will give you an update on Austin PJU here in just a minute as things progress. Okay, Austin P did score a run. It is still the top of the fifth, and then 2 on, 2 out. So it is still it is now tied at 1-all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So hopefully JU can get
Man,
this
that's
batter
exciting.
I know.
Yeah, that's when it gets really intense for sure.
Absolutely, because it's winner go home.
Yeah,
And if you win this
Sudden
tournament,
death.
you make it into the NCAA tournament.
Oh,
That's what's riding on the line. Obviously, it's going to be much harder to do for these teams that are starting out having to play early and not have any buys like UNF does. JU's Sammy Mumau was named Defensive Player of the Year. That was thanks to the ASUN. Mumau started 51 games for the Dolphins this season, closed the regular season out with 199 chances, 130 assists, 68 putouts, while turning 17 double plays at shortstop.
All right.
So way to go, Sammy Mumau. Like I said yesterday, UNF will play the winner of Game 3. Right now, it's JU Austin P, and then whoever wins this game faces North Alabama. North Florida's redshirt junior left-handed pitcher Dakota Stone was the first team All-ASUN honor, or he won first team All-ASUN honors, and head coach Joe Mercadante, ASUN Coach of the Year.
Yeah, let's
There
go.
for UNF
There
baseball.
you go.
That's right. So they
Congrats.
certainly have a really good chance to be able to win the whole thing and then make it to the NCAAs. SEC Baseball Awards. Georgia's Daniel Jackson was named SEC Player of the Year. He's batting .394 with 27 home runs, 77 ribbies, 25 stolen bases, and 26 attempts.
Wow.
So you know he's got some speed. He is the just the 6th player and first catcher in Division I history to have 25 home runs and 25 stolen bases. So he's got wheels, but he's a catcher. You almost never see
you're right.
those two things. And then Florida's ace, Aiden King, was named SEC Pitcher of the Year. He is 8-2 with a 2.5 ERA this season. He went 5-0 over his last 8 SEC starts with wins over Ole Miss, Georgia, speaking of Georgia, Auburn, Texas A&M, and LSU. He was the National Pitcher of the Month for April after going 4-0 with a 1.57 in that stretch.
Aiden.
That's good.
Aiden, obviously,
real
from
good.
Bishop Snyder. And then one other award, ACC Baseball Pitcher of the Year, Wes Mendez from Florida State. He is out of Tampa. So I love to look at all the awards.
Yeah, that's really
postseason
cool.
awards.
We were talking a little bit yesterday, Tommy, about softball because my stepsister, she played softball at Lamar and then South Alabama. And so she's a big softball fan. So the regionals are happening right now. So I was watching the most softball I've watched probably my whole life, but it was really fun. But two of the girls, we were talking about that UCLA team, 2 girls on that UCLA team have batting averages over 400 and one's like 470 or something like that. And one's batting like 450.
Yeah.
I'm like, and at first they said that, and I'm like, is that normal for them to be batting over 400? And she was like, no, usually it's very similar to baseball in the sense of batting averages. You know, around 300 is what you like. A little over 300 is kind of what you feel like good batters you talk about. 470 batting average, that you're getting on base quite a bit.
Heck yeah, and pounding that ball.
And I'm guessing those are bigger girls because typically the best hitters in college softball are a little bit bigger. Not always, but traditionally. And then obviously the pitchers too.
You can smack that thing. That thing's hard.
I know.
I mean, wicked hard.
You got that
Coming
right.
at you like in third base, shortstop.
Yeah.
Unbelievable,
Friday,
Mark.
I'll be stress watching Florida Texas Tech, but I won't be here, so you at least don't have to watch me stress watch the softball game. When it comes to the Rays, they now have the best record in all of Major League Baseball. Yesterday was the best record in the AL. Now it's the best record in all of Major League Baseball. But our guy Shane McClanahan, his scoreless streak ended at 24.1 innings. So, but still, that was unbelievable. He allowed no runs for that long. The Rays won 16-6 over the Orioles yesterday. The Braves, meanwhile, lost 12-0 to the Marlins.
Ouch.
That score really surprised me. But this I thought was super cool. Did you guys see the story of the Cardinals fans Friday night and what's being called tarps off?
Oh, so I saw something about it, but I didn't go and see exactly what was happening.
So it has nothing to do with the actual tarp. So that's true. The Cardinals were down. I forget who they were playing, but they were down at home on Friday night. And the Stephen F. Austin club baseball team was in attendance for the game. So they decide, instead of rally caps, they decided to take their shirts off and just start waving their shirts around. And then more and more people in their section, all guys, obviously, started doing the same thing. So you eventually ended up with like hundreds of young men shirtless, waving their shirts around. The Cardinals ended up coming back and winning in the 11th inning.
All right.
So the manager thought it was so cool that he ended up saying, like, I'll buy them all tickets for as many games as they want to come to. Well, then watching the Rays game last night, some fans there started to do it. And it was hilarious to watch other fans running from other sections, like
trying to take their
shirts off as they're headed to it. And I was just
free
like,
tickets.
and there were girls around there.
I was
and
about
like,
to say,
leave your shirts on, girls.
Yeah,
We're probably going to get a girl. It's just going to end up happening, and the cameras are going to be like, oh.
Hey.
Just wear
Whoa.
bathing suits. Just wear bathing suits. It'll be fine.
Right turn.
Yeah. And we did talk about Pete Crow Armstrong yesterday. I don't know if you saw the story, but there was a female fan heckling him, and he said some interesting words back to her.
Ooh.
And since then, he said he does regret his choice of words. I don't think he regrets clapping back.
Tell me what they are. What did
Not on
what,
air.
what did she say?
You
You're a
can't tell
piece
like,
of crap, basically, is
Oh.
what I read.
she was chirping the whole game. Like
Yeah.
there's multiple videos throughout the game of her chirping him. And they were kind of going back at it a few times, and then he ended up going to try, like it would have been an incredible catch if he was able to make it. It was like a diving catch, ended up not getting it. And so she said, yeah, like, you suck, you're a piece, you're whatever, something. And then so he came back and said some very choice words to her, which I may have to do. Yeah.
All right, I can't wait to hear what those words are.
Like I
Good
said
for
yesterday,
PCA. Don't take no grief from
I know, that's what
anybody,
I said. I was like,
man.
I'm here for it. And also, I was telling Lauren, I was like, that Cubs-White Sox, it's always a rivalry, but when both teams are good, which the White Sox are playing really good, it's more fun because the games are competitive. That series was one of the best series we've watched in a long time. Fans were pumped up. The teams were pumped up. So to me, I was just like, I think he was like, I would never, he apologized, which you have to in that situation because it was a little...
egregious.
Yeah.
He said the women in his life know he doesn't normally talk like that. I'm like, yeah, you
Unless
better
they
not.
get out of line. No,
Oh,
I'm just
or
kidding.
your mom's going to put some soap in your mouth. Final thing in Lauren's Lane, speaking of baseball, the Jumbo Shrimp begin a 6-game homestand
All
tonight against the Norfolk Tide. And tonight is Per in the Park. So all
no.
cats are welcome.
I'll be sneezing like
all
crazy.
the stray
out there.
cats are going to come in.
I don't think there's stray cats.
All the
Where did we
feral
get in
cats.
today?
Hey, where's my little...
I think it's pet cats.
Gotcha.
Pet cats are
so
welcome.
bring them on a leash.
I don't know
Some
if they
people have leashes. Some people
carriers.
have the little
Yeah.
carriers. I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah.
I would.
Bring your cat
My
to the
allergies
baseball
would.
game,
I would
huh?
explode if I were to walk into the cat ballpark.
But for those that are not allergic like we
Yeah,
are,
go have some
have
fun.
an absolute blast.
That's
All right, the
right.
golden moment awaits on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's a tasty beverage for the ears.
Things are just getting better by the second.
1010XL.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey here, and the cooler weather is upon us. Folks, it's the perfect time to try the new breakfast sandwich from Dandy Foods. A hearty one, too. A twin-pack cinnamon swirl and country sausage. You get the sweet first, then the salty kicks in, and trust me, they are addicting. And you'll find them all at daily stores around town. So the next time you're out and about, stop and get all that deliciousness in less than a minute from Dandy. Just one more reason to go out and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday
is served by
Morgan & Morgan.
Lauren Brooks here. I love our organized closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. That's right, a designer will come over and inspect whether it's you want your closet, your entertainment centers, your laundry rooms, your storage, anything that you want, they can handle every space, every budget. Make an appointment today to tour their showroom on Phillips Highway and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off free installation and 18-month special financing. Schedule your free consultation at 904-878-9393 or online closetsbydesign.com.
Hey there, poker players. The Poker Atlas Tour is bringing 7 action-packed poker events to Best Bet St. Augustine from June 18th to the 28th, including the $600 no-limit hold'em title event with a $200,000 guarantee. Plus, don't miss Event 1, a $300 no-limit hold'em tournament featuring a $100,000 guarantee. Satellites are happening now at Best Bet St. Augustine. Visit bestbetjacks.com for tournament structures and all the details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
When is the World Cup and where will it be held?
For over 20 years, Southern Oak Insurance has given Floridians a better alternative to their current homeowners policy. See what you can get with Southern Oak. Log on to southernoak.com.
family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be held in 16 different cities in Canada, Mexico, and here in the United States from June 11th through July 19th.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
I'm with Sullivan from Cycles of Jacksonville and Sullivan. You love the beach and you love to ride, so tell everybody what Honda's got cooking right now.
Yes, definitely. Here at Cycles of Jacksonville, we have a full line Hondas, Vespas, Triumphs, everything you can think of just to ride to the beach. It's going to be the best summer ever when you hop on that ride this year.
So if you head to the showroom first, you're going to see all sorts of examples of what they can enjoy.
Exactly. Come see us at the showroom, Atlantic Boulevard. We're ready to see you there.
You can log on, check out their Facebook page or cyclesofjacksonville.com.
The 2026 schedule is here, and Jaguars football is officially back at the bank. With limited capacity this season, it's more important than ever to show up loud and create the ultimate home field advantage. From our biggest rivalries to can't-miss matchups, this is a season you won't want to miss. Single game tickets are on sale, and now's the time to lock in your seats for the games that matter most. Inventory is limited, and tickets are expected to go fast. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
Hey, it's Greg. So, quick update on my path to lose 40 by the 4th with Awaken 180. 2 weeks in, and honestly, it's been outstanding. I'm already down 13 pounds. Had to tighten the belt a notch. Friends and coworkers here at 1010XL are starting to notice. You know, it's funny nowadays when somebody loses weight, everybody just kind of assumes, oh, you're doing the shots. Well, nah, that wasn't for me. I didn't want injections, pills, supplements, or chemicals just to kill my appetite. I needed a real lifestyle change, learning better habits with an actual coach and a real plan. Because here's the thing. I'm busy, I'm always on the road, and it's easy to grab whatever's fast and convenient. But I finally decided to stop making excuses, especially after finding out I'm going to be a grandpa. And that lose 40 by the 4th concept was just the push I needed, and it's working. I'm eating, losing weight, and actually enjoying the process. How often do you hear a guy say that? So do it with me. Call today, and today is the perfect time to start getting healthy with a custom weekly plan. Call 844-346-1800 or at awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Golden moment, I'm going to swing around, and a lot of love given to the coaching staff here in Jacksonville recently. And Liam Cohen in general, I saw one earlier, I think it was yesterday, I ended up seeing this one of Chase Daniel breaking down film, and the caption of it was people still don't understand how good Liam Cohen is at play designing. And so that's one thing. You're talking about all of these guys starting to break down film and see some of the really creative things that Liam Cohen has done. But also there was a ranking put out by John Frisella, however you say his name, but he's Frisella, NFL insider and writer, NFL draft expert. I see his stuff all the time, but he did ranking all 32 head coaches based on whom he'd want coaching the team. You see the Jaguars, Liam Cohen at number 8 on that, but then he broke down the full coaching staff, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and head coach, and he has the Jaguars as number 1 with that, with Udinski, Coach Camp, and Liam Cohen. And so I think that there's a lot of people giving a lot of attention, which we've talked about this in the light of you're probably expecting Udinski and Coach Camp to not be here that much longer. So take this year and win the Super Bowl, hopefully, because you're probably not going to have both of those coaches next year.
Yeah, they'll be in the running, especially if we have a good year again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens, right? And they already went through the process this year to a certain degree, and they'll be up there again if they're both their offensive and defensive units play well.
You got to talk to Anthony Campanelli over the weekend.
Yeah.
Did you get the vibes that you would have wanted to play for him?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, he's great. He we didn't really talk ball too much. It was just more about living.
Yeah.
Where he likes to go, where he hangs out, loves Jacksonville. We have a lot of just some things in common with New Jersey. My parents from Jersey, he's from there as well. My dad boxes, he loves boxing, just kind of some cool. But yeah, no, his attitude is, and we know his attention to detail is second to none. I mean, he's proven that. And he's not afraid to break it all down if things aren't going well. It'll be, it's interesting. So like you said earlier, we were doing our picks, and I have us going one loss, one. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just kind of worked out that way. And the question is, are we going to hit the ground running on both sides of the ball, or will there be some growing pains still? Or maybe it's not growing pains the right description. But the one thing that it's the fear's not the right word because there's no fear, but it's more like how will teams defend us and how will they attack us after seeing us for a year on film? Now you got Liam in Tampa for a year, and then you got this year. Camp you don't, right? You just got last year because of his first time as a defensive coordinator. But they got you on film now. Like, so where are the weaknesses? How are we going to exploit this? How are we going to attack? And look, they're doing the same. And they're forward thinking, going, okay, look, we didn't do this very well, so we got to imagine they're going to try to do this against us. So how are we going to combat? It's not just personnel, although that's going to help, right?
Yeah.
Like the idea is Pregnon comes in and all of a sudden we're this ass-kick and run machine. And maybe we will, maybe we won't. But the scheme, it's going to have some different wrinkles. And one thing about that 3 tight end set, you can get really creative.
Yeah.
You could look like, oh, we're coming at you with all 3 of them. Next thing you know, it's play action, and they're all out in routes, and 2 of them are open. You know what I mean? That's where Liam's his intelligence comes in with, because you can take a formation and run 3 different things out of it. You can't get the tendency, oh, by the way, I'm going to flip it to the other side of the formation. I'm going to run 3 different things out of that. You're not going to be able to track that. That's the the wizardry that they're working on constantly. And then Campanelli on the other side is trying to figure out, well, they're going to try, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a lot, and you can only do so much. You're not guessing. You're going off your tendencies. But if the tendencies keep changing up, it's hard to make those, actual tendencies, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and the way you just said it, I hadn't really thought about this in the fact that Anthony Campanile last year as a first-year defensive coordinator was in training camp, was trying to combat what Liam was throwing at him.
Yeah.
Right? And it felt like the defense was winning early on in training camp too. And so I guess I just didn't really think about how Liam had the edge up on camp as far as the experience and play calling, but the defensive personnel just looked like they understood what they were supposed to be doing better early on.
Yeah, and again, not to harp on it, but the O-line couldn't block anybody in camp. It didn't feel like, especially the edges. They were having, it's like every day there would be like 4 or 6 sacks. You'd be like, what the heck is going on? And we can block them. But,
and there were a lot of passes defensed by the DBs.
There was a lot of contested early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it earlier when it comes to the defense and when it comes to the explosive plays and some of those big plays that were allowed at bad times last season. And that's the losses you talk about that. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba. It's the Bills in the postseason being able to get down the field on the Jags and have those big chunk plays. It wasn't always like you were constantly allowing 8-9 yards. It was more so like you would get to 3rd down and then they'd convert a 3rd and 14. And so I was thinking about that in the sense of obviously the Jags had the second most takeaways last year. And you love that because you love taking the ball away, but also how much was that teams being like, I want to target these guys because I feel like maybe they'll take it away, but if they don't, I've seen, X amount of quarterbacks this year convert 14, 3rd and 14s and 3rd and 20s and stuff. A lot of the cornerbacks you talk about being the better corners in the league don't get targeted a lot because the quarterbacks want to avoid them. And so it almost felt like certain teams last year picked on the Jags secondary because they knew they're like, okay, well, there's a 30% chance they're going to take it away, but there's a 70% chance that this is going to end up being an explosive big play. And so some of those things I think you want to see get better this year in the sense of it can't just be take away or first down. You've got to get some of those things. And I do think that affected the guys up front too, because, and we talk about they play off of each other when it comes to, you rush the passer a little bit more, you get pressure on the quarterback, and then the quarterback doesn't have so much time to throw, can't go through all their progressions. Like some of those things you start to see the corners aren't having to cover for 6 or 7 seconds, but then, it goes both ways. But it will be interesting to see what Coach Camp does with that. And some of it is a lot of questions. You said that earlier in the show, Tommy, when it comes to the to be determines and the what ifs of what is Caleb Ransaw going? What is he going to be like this season? Is Antonio Johnson going to continue to develop? Is Travis Hunter going to be able to play a full season? And how high of a level is he going to be playing at? Is Jordan Lewis going to stay healthy? There's all of those things that are going to factor into that secondary. But it is interesting to see. It almost felt like there were periods of times where the quarterbacks were just like, this defense can't really do anything else other than take the ball away deep. So let's just throw it as much as possible, and we're going to get some first downs.
They can stop the run, and we don't get after the quarterback enough to where it affects his play. You know, if the stink on offense was the run game, the stink on defense was what? Not affecting the quarterback enough. You did on occasion, but you didn't enough to where you would control a game. You like take over a game, or really just complete a game. You know, that's one thing we saw. I think from our defense, like now the next step is to close out games. You get a lead. Well, how do you close out a game? You harass the QB. And what I mean by that, it's not just one guy. It's 2 or 3 getting out, and he has nowhere to run, nowhere to go. And even if he's athletic, you're going to chase him down. You know what I mean? Like, your coverage will be better. Like, you just got to be better at that if you're going to take the next step into the playoffs and win. I mean, look, and again, the offense did its part. I'm harping on the D, but at the end of the day, you can't let Josh Allen do what he did. He completed 80% of his passes. Now, he got them out quick, whatever the reasoning is, I don't really care, but he went down the field on you pretty easily. When he needed a play, he made it. Run or pass. Shakir was 10 of 10.
Right. Yeah.
10 of 10, and it wasn't dink and dunk. It was digs and over the middle, and you weren't on your coverage.
And every quarterback gets the ball out fast now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Except maybe the younger ones that are not quite trusting their eyes. Like, that's what they do. That's what they're taught to do.
Well, think about that stat we threw out last week with Nick Bonito. I don't know if you heard that. Like 43 times he got to the QB in 2 seconds or less.
Wow.
As a pressure.
So you've got to get it out quick.
Like,
that's
think
the
about
world
that.
They live
like,
in.
that's, So if the coverage ain't on, they're going to pick you apart.
Yeah.
But the reason he can't be, they get it out quick. Well, great.
Yeah.
Cover up. Like, toughen up the coverage.
And that's kind of what I'm saying, that's a perfect example of Josh Allen's like, I don't care if maybe they get an interception because I can complete 80% of my passes because they may pick it off one time, but they're going to allow me to get 300 plus yards and complete them close to 75% even with an interception.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And you can't allow that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we expect them, or I'll say that. I expect both sides of the ball to start off really good because of the fact that it's year 2 in the system and because of all the good things that we saw between the takeaways and now healthier players on defense, obviously, Trevor knowing the playbook and having more weapons. Like, that's what I expect as we sit here today, which is why, spoiler alert, I have the Jags starting 3-0 in the regular season.
I mean, starting fast against that schedule. If you do that, it's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a pretty good that first 5-6 games before
First
the bye.
6 games, absolutely.
They're no joke. You know?
We've seen some of the best teams in the league. It's hard because you can't hit during camp anymore, and there's all you're barely playing preseason. That's what we've seen a lot. That some of those best teams in the last 5 to 10 years have came out slow because you don't really get to do as much in the offseason as you want to. So it will be interesting to see, especially like you said, with the beginning of that schedule, what it looks like. And then you have the start of it, and then it hits Bengals, and you're on the road for 2 months pretty much other than one game. And so you've got to get a fast start. You really want them to be able to.
You do. And if you don't, as long as you're not too far behind, although we saw what happened with Houston, you're building for that run. You're built that's why it's okay if they're 5-3 or 4-4. So they're getting through a tough part of the schedule. They're working out how they lose will factor.
Or how they win.
Or how they win, right?
Yeah.
For both.
Because we'll complain if it's by 1 point against the Browns.
Yeah.
And I say we, the collective we. Jaguars fans will be like,
it took a final second field goal to beat the Browns.
Yeah. How are we going to beat the
it is week
Broncos
1.
and the Patriots?
Yeah.
No, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. 1 segment to go. Pest of the day on the other side. I can give you an update, though. JU has scored another run, so it is 2-1 JU over Austin P. We'll keep you updated. It's Helmets and Heels, 10 to XL 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this week and weekend at ViStar Ballpark. Tomorrow, it's a Yingling Business Person Special, and the weekend starts on Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Plus, UF Health EMS Appreciation Night Friday, and a Honey Dripper Sunshade giveaway from Arlington Toyota and ViStar on Saturday, and CSX Military Appreciation on Sunday.
Frank Frangia here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Covered by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Are you an experienced automotive technician and tired of working for employers who put profit over people? Then come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road and get trained on how to diagnose and rebuild today's complex transmissions. See how we're different. Get traction on your career and come to Action.
Equal opportunity employer.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you as Walk-Off Charities has grown, we now manage a large athletic facility with numerous fields, including the Bregan Baseball Complex. To get around, we needed a good, reliable golf cart. I went straight to Dynamic Drives and Design in Jack's Peak. I met with Travis, told him exactly what our needs were. Would you believe before you knew it, the perfect cart was delivered to us at an incredible price? If you need a golf cart, Travis and his team are the go-to. Learn more about them at dynamicdrivesdesign.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. If you have a school, team, or group that would benefit from a team store, you're in luck because we now offer team stores. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World,
simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah.
JU has opened it up a little bit now, 4-1 against Austin P in the first round of the A-Sun Baseball Championship, and no outs here in the bottom of the 6th with a runner on second for JU. So come on, Dolphins. Win this game and then beat North Alabama. And then we'll have another River City Rumble Hardball edition.
All right.
But this one in the postseason, which would be a lot of fun. All right, time now for today's Pest of the Day, brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. It's TERMINIX.com. They do a fantastic job taking care of ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. I'm sure y'all saw the story. Jackson Smith and Jigba received his Offensive Player of the Year trophy, but the plaque says Defensive Player of the Year. He said it's getting disrespectful at this point. I mean, you had one job.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
To engrave a trophy. And how on earth is someone whose job this is, that's involved in the NFL, not fully aware that he's a wide receiver? And, by the way, one of the best wide receivers who just signed a massive contract this offseason. You mentioned him earlier when talking about the the Jaguars' secondary issues and what some guys presented there. Like, come on, man. That's all I have to
And
say
just
about
in
that.
general, did one person just look at this and make
Also
it and
true.
send it? Like, nobody else was like, hey, he's a wide receiver.
Nobody double checked.
There's a thing called proofreading, or we have
That's
multiple
Lauren's other job
layers.
here.
I love to
10 XL.
proofread. I do. I love to proofread.
Two
Happy to
letters.
help.
2 letters are different, right? DE and OF. The
I
rest is
didn't
the
think
same,
about that, but yeah.
Right? I mean, how do you screw that one up?
Yeah, it's
I just don't understand. Like, one person is on offense, one person's on defense. There's no, I mean, this isn't Travis Hunter where then.
Yeah, right. Then you could get confused.
Put a slash in there. I don't know
I'd
how
be-
it works.
I'd be perfectly fine with that.
I do have a pest too. Can
Go
I do
for
a
it,
Terminix
yeah.
pest of the day?
Absolutely.
So Judy Batista just tweeted, NFL owners approved the ability to play up to 10 international games per season now. So losing more and more games to international games. And I know they want money and you're spreading the NFL to global and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I just like NFL games being played here. I think if you're going to argue constantly about player safety and wanting them to have rest to be able to have all these things, telling them to travel to all these different countries, and now you're talking about Australia, it just doesn't really make sense to me.
I
A little
understand
contradicting.
that. Yep. All right. So 2 pests today. Let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hayes, I'm monitoring some ASUN baseball championship action. JU up 4-1 on Austin P with runners on first and second.
That's great.
They're Austin
best
P
of luck
switching
to
out a
them.
pitcher now. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, when it comes to the odds, I don't know if you saw, but the Jaguars are favorites in 8 of their games. Meanwhile, the Texans are favored in 13 of their games.
Seems like a pretty wild discrepancy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one book. It'll be interesting as we get closer to the regular season if that changes, because that would indicate that the Texans are a massive favorite in the AFC South, and I don't see that. I don't even think the first place schedule really works against the Jaguars much this year, because the teams that were second in those respective divisions are good clubs. Like, look at the AFC East. Well, I'd rather play the Patriots over the Bills, just to name that one right out of the gate. So, in the AFC West, it's, I don't think there's a big gap between 1 and 2 there. And then they all play the North, so that doesn't matter. So, yeah, I mean, I was surprised by that as well. Be interesting to see if that starts a trend of sort of the national perspective being that this is really the Texans division and the Jags were sort of a 1-year thing, because 8-9, I mean, that would be about the worst season they could have. I mean, because you're obviously, it's a losing season. You're obviously missing the tournament, but you're also picking probably 17th. So in a great draft, if you're going to miss the playoffs, go 4-13, and get Jeremiah Smith, something like that.
Right.
So anyway, I thought that was really interesting. So we'll talk about that coming up on the Frangie Show, and we'll get into lots of stuff going on in college athletics. So we'll certainly touch on that as well. John Sumrall just continues to be red hot on the recruiting trail. They got a 4-star receiver today from Port Charlotte. So they're like 4th nationally in the recruiting rankings, which is just, they haven't been, they're still obviously like 6 months until signing day, but you don't get a sense that guys are going to flip on Sumrall. I watched that All Access thing last night. That was kind of a waste if you wanted to learn anything, but in terms of the best part of it was Sumrall and talking about his philosophies on like team building and team connectivity. And so you can see why like a prospect and his family would be like, this is the guy that we want to, put our son's future in, his hands. So yeah, we'll talk about some Gators. We'll get into some other things as well. So it should be fun.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to name the starting quarterback last night in that All Access.
It was like they promised it. They're like, well, we're not televising the spring game.
Right.
I know, by the way, no one else is either in the SEC, but we're going to do this 30-minute show that's going to feature a lot of the spring game. Had like 2 plays.
I know. I watched it to see if you could see where we were sitting in the stands. They didn't show any plays of the stands.
It was anyway. So kind of a waste, unfortunately. But and that'll be interesting to see if college football tries to, as it gets a little bit more stabilized, if it tries to model the NFL offseason a little bit in terms of its because I mean, college football just disappears.
Correct.
And I think it really hurts their sport, compared to now. Obviously, they don't have free agency and you don't have a draft. I understand
kind of
that.
have free agency
yeah,
now.
but you could play into elements at
Agreed.
least, and certainly make it more open. And that's not like a Florida thing. That's just across the board and has been for 20 years. But as they start to really fight for that dollar, every dollar they can get, I think they need to do a better job of exposing their sport to the fans in the off season. You can't just play for 3 months and the other 9 basically be dormant, which is what that sport kind of is right now. But anyway, all that coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I totally agree with you as far as college football and basically just falling off the face of the planet. By the way, I meant to mention this. I'm going to manifest this right now. So the 2028 season, the Jaguars are in the Stadium of the Future, and then the Super Bowl will be held in Nashville. Jaguars need to be in
Then
that
they say
Super Bowl.
2030 it's in
2030, yeah.
Oh, it's
Nashville.
the draft that was named in 2028 in Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah.
And Nashville's 2030 for the
2030
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Okay, well, the Jaguars will be in the
We'll
Super
be
Bowl
on
in
their third
2028. Yeah, 2029 and 2030.
There you
have it.
go. Back
All
to
right,
back.
that'll do it for us today. Taylor Dahl for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere.